Well, I've been looking forward to this interview tonight with Bodie Howell, senior quarterback at Eastbrook High School. And if you haven't seen seen what happened the other night in the Alexandria game, we're about to talk about it. 37-36 win, one of the wildest finishes you'll ever see in high school football, and probably in any level of football. Uh, but Bodie, you've been all over. Your highlights have been all over ESPN, all over everything here, and we're going to dive into the details of what happened. But first of all, just what's this experience been like for you since Friday night? What's your what was school like today for you, or did you have school? Are you on fall break?
No, we had school today, but yeah, it was fun seeing everybody there. Everybody talking, just congratulating, which was really cool to be able to experience that.
Did you see any of ESPN today talking about it?
I didn't see ESPN, but I saw Max Preps and the Pat McAfee show.
Yeah, Pat McAfee was talking, had a pretty good segment about it. Yeah, pretty awesome. But well, let's get into it, Bodie, because I think people, there was some confusion as to everything went down at the end of the game. As far as I can understand it, the referees did get it right. But so you had a basically there was 4.4 seconds left. You had a chance to basically have one play, 4.4 seconds. Kind of take us through what's happening there on your sideline as you get the ball back, basically 80 yards from the end zone, and you need 8 points to win. What kind of set us up? What was the thought process there? What were you going out trying to do?
Yeah, well, I just talked to Coach about this. Everybody walked over the sideline, and I mean, we had that play called, and everybody knew that's what we were running. So everybody had the confidence to go down there and knew what we had to do to score. Like there's in the videos you can see, there's great blocks. Everybody was just laying out and doing everything we could to score and win the game.
Take me through what you saw. There was, I think, 3 laterals until what you ended up getting the ball back, kind of on the left, sort of on the left side of the field.
Yeah.
What did you see there?
Well, so I throw it to our tight end. He throws it, and then we run a pitch off of it. And I'm just there in case something happens behind him. And me and the fullback talked about, like, if something happens, just throw it. We got to keep going right before we snap the ball. And then, that's just where it went. He made the right decision to throw it back to me. And I was fortunate. It even looked like we were set up for a punt, how many blockers I had, which was awesome.
So you get moving up the field, and at some point, Bodie, it kind of looked like it looked at maybe a couple different points where he looked like he might get tackled.
Yeah.
And you kind of stumbled at one point, pretty far into the run actually. But once you got to that right sideline, though, did it kind of feel like, all right, I might have a chance to make it here?
Yeah, for sure. I saw some windows open up. People were going everywhere. Like my own guys were laying out for me. So I just made some cuts off them, and I was there. You can see me going in the end zone, and I had people right beside me, which was awesome to be there with my brothers like that.
Were you getting tired at the end of that run?
Yeah, I was a little dead. Kind of, I fell in the back of the end zone.
It's kind of crazy too, because you guys, is this right? You hadn't scored in the second half, right?
No, we hadn't. We had 3 scores in the first half, and we were scoreless in the second half until that point. So yeah, we started out a little slow the second half, but can't be doing that in a sectional game. But we figured it out.
So the crazy part about this too is that play didn't even result in a touchdown. You have the penalty. The ball goes back to the 42-yard line, and I'm sure you've heard about this, in the days that have followed, or even the hours that followed. But according to the high school rules, if that play ends in zeros and the penalty is accepted, you get a untimed down to end the game. I know there were some people confused, I think, onto how that actually happened, but they got the call right. It sounded like, so you get the ball at the 42. So Bodie, after all of that, you run all the way down the field. You don't score, or you do, but you get it called back. How are you kind of gathering yourself? Well, I guess what's the message again in the huddle? What are you guys talking about?
Yeah, in the huddle, we just knew, like, this is it right here. Every single person that's out there with me, like, we're good friends. Like, we've always been close, and we want to keep playing football with each other. This is kind of what it came down to, is make a play, and we receiver go downfield and was fortunate to make a play, which is great.
And when you're kind of getting hit as you throw it, and if you watch the video, you kind of see you didn't have much time left to even get that throw off. Did you see your teammate down? I mean, did you feel like he was, pretty open? I mean, he was open for a minute and then it kind of closed up. But what did you see there?
Yeah, I mean, in the huddle, his name's Matthew Slater. That's my best friend, and he said, "Hey, throw it up to me. I'll be there." So I mean, you got to have trust with your best friend, I guess, because I knew maybe the under route might not be it in that situation, but with the play action pass, if I needed to run, we could, it was a good call. But yeah, Matt just wanted me to throw it up to him. And I knew he'd be able to make a play with that confidence that he had going into it. He's a very confident guy.
And he did pull it down. Yeah, Slater got the touchdown pass, and by the time the ball got to him, there was a couple of guys there, but he went up and high pointed it and got it and pulled it in. And then you still need the 2-pointer. That was kind of a rollout play, right? That you rolled up to the right. What'd you see on that play?
Well, our tight end and our slot receiver, they have it's a pick route is what it is. So we have one come in motion, and the guy I ended up throwing it to he was on the pick route. I was just running out there. He threw his hands up, and I knew, like, once again, he's going to make a play. I mean, if it's going to be something in that game, crazy stuff's happened. What's more crazy? One more crazy thing going to hurt, I guess.
Well, there was more even after that because you got because I think actually you had there was a delay of game there, so that's actually an 8-yard pass instead of or a 7-yard instead of a 2-yard. But you end up Alexandria scores right away in overtime. You guys get the ball back and score, and then Bodie, what's kind of was there any question you're going to go for 2 to try to win it?
No, our coaches talked about this. Like, we know with the momentum we have, we feel good going for 2. Like, I know if we hand it off to our fullback, he's gonna get the yards. I know. I feel confident in myself. If we need the yards, we're gonna get them, which was good. It could have went to anybody, and I feel like we would have been good.
And you had the chance to run it in there. It looked like it was pretty close to the
it was. It was really close.
Yeah, you did get it over there, right?
I did.
So the game's over at that point, and I know Alexandria just sick to their stomach. And again, I should mention too, these two teams very good. Eastbrook's undefeated. This is a 2A sectional first round game. Alexandria, a really good team as well this season. So it wasn't like this wasn't a tale of 2 1-8 teams playing each other. These are two really good teams. And even as a competitor, Bodie, you probably had to feel for those guys. I mean, that's a tough way to lose, and they played like winners that night. But what was kind of the reaction after the game on both sides?
Yeah, for us, I would just say we were all in shock. Like, we've never been a part of anything like that, but I guess we figured out how to win. And then Brady Gast for Alexandria, a great quarterback. I got to talk to him a little bit after the game, and I mean, I kind of felt for him. That wouldn't be fun to go out that way, but I mean, he's a great football player.
Yeah, they really, really perform well. I know it's a rivalry that you guys have kind of dominated over the years, but they had a great season as well, and it's hard to see even when you're on the winning side. Watching that video, it's like, man, you kind of feel for those guys.
Yeah, for sure.
They ended up 7-3 on the season, and familiarity there. You guys played them earlier in the year. I'm sure knew they were going to be a tough opponent coming into it. Take me back to the Hail Mary throw, Bodie. I know that you guys are kind of known as a running team.
Yeah.
You're a running quarterback for sure. Was there any question? Did you know you could get it to the end zone on that throw?
I felt pretty good, like I said, just because, I mean, the confidence that my receiver down there had. I mean, I knew it was going to be a tough throw, but I knew he'd be able to make a play even if it wasn't the best throw. He'd be able to do something with it.
And what was I'm sure there's a lot of people talking about this at school today. What was what was kind of the conversations like you had with people?
They're definitely very supportive, which is great to have. I mean, yeah, it's for sure been supportive and been really nice. Everybody's been really nice and supportive about it, not just to me, to my teammates, because they all played a crucial part in getting away.
And you have plenty to go here. I mean, you've got a team that I'm sure feels like you can really catapult this into something. You've got Rochester up next. This is a very tough sectional. They are a one-loss team and a very good defense. I know throughout the year, I think they're only giving up like 4 or 5 points a game.
Yeah, they are.
So they're 9-1. You've got Eastern Greentown and Tipton on the other side of that bracket. Eastern Greentown is also 9-1. So a tough road here. How do you kind of what was practice like today? Do you kind of just get back to work, or what did you guys do today?
Yeah, I mean, we had to get back to work. Just knowing what Rochester's going to do on both sides of the ball is big. I mean, we know what we want is a sectional championship plus, so we can't get content over one game. We kind of have to keep moving. And last Friday was a crazy thing that happened, but we got to keep rolling if we want that sectional championship, which we all really want.
Coach Adamson's brought teams down here a couple different times to Lucas Oil to the state finals. I remember 2019 and I think 3 times actually. It was 16, 18, and 19 that Eastbrook's made it here. Do you remember those teams? Were you a kid going to those games?
Yeah, I was a little kid. I think I went to 2 of them, but it's an experience that I've always wanted to be a part of for sure.
How would you describe the program there? Coach Adamson's been there a long time. He's got over 300 wins in his career. What's Eastbrook football like, Bodie? Why does it work so well?
I mean, there's definitely a standard. I mean, Coach Adamson sets that. I mean, he knows how to win, I feel like, and you follow what he says and believe in it. Like on Friday, you believe what he says and what play he draws up, you believe. You don't have a second doubt about what he's calling, and just roll from there.
And hopefully you won't need this amount of theatrics in coming weeks, right? I mean, have you used up all of your tricks in the book, do you think?
I don't know. We might have something up our sleeve.
If you have another game like that, that would be a whole book unto itself. Again, Eastbrook ranked, I believe, number 5 in Class 2A, and played Rochester this week. Rochester is also ranked in the top 10 at number 8. So, like I said, a pretty tough road here for Eastbrook. But Bodie, I guess in the grand scheme of things, I guess this kind of shows you can fight out of adversity. What do you kind of take away maybe from the grand scheme of things after Friday night?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like we just knew how to win. I mean, we've had really close games, like the first game of the season, we won by a point. But just knowing how crucial 4.4 seconds is and what we could do in that time. But yeah, just know how to win.
4.4 plus the untimed down. You got to add that in there too.
Yeah, got to add
What
that.
which play have you watched more? The flipping it around and running the whole thing, or the Hail Mary?
I don't know. It's probably been pretty close. I think I've watched the whole thing through quite a few times.
I bet, and rightly so. But it was an awesome moment for Indiana high school football, unless you're an Alexandria fan or player, but a game that they'll remember, I'm sure, in many years to come. I'm sure, obviously, Eastbrook, and it's cool to see Indiana high school football get on the big stage like that, and people kind of look, and it's only good for the sport and good for the state to have that happen. So, Bodie, great job. Appreciate you jumping on here, and best of luck to you guys the rest of the way.
All right, thank you very much, Kyle.
You bet. Thanks, Bodie.
Thanks.
Well, thanks again to Bodie Howell for coming on here and joining me. That was just a game that you don't, or a finish that you just don't often see anything like that happening. Maybe one play, of sort of the flip it around, toss it back. Maybe guy breaks away and scores or whatever. You don't see that happen, and then you also get the Hail Mary, which made it such a bizarre finish. And you do feel for those kids on the other side, because you're watching them, especially after the 2-point conversion Bodie scored there to end the game, and they are just obviously so distraught that happened. But yeah, I mean, what an unbelievable thing to have happen. I think the referee, you could argue, I think, a couple of the things in that play that maybe there was a forward lateral or, whatever. But I think they got in the grand scheme of things, as far as I can tell, they got it right. They got it back to the untimed down, and that I think is a correct interpretation of the rule book at the high school level. So, it's a crazy thing. Never say never, but you're rarely going to see anything like that happen in a high school football game. So, and like I said, the crazy thing too is that they have such a tough game upcoming against Rochester. Maybe that's a good thing that they can kind of get refocused and have to focus on a really good team again this week. But Eastbrook, I think a team that people who follow high school football know they're 2A powerhouse, or a team that traditionally has been really good in Class 2A. Alexandria has not been up to their level here in recent years, but had a great season as well. So yeah, just an amazing game. Looking at some of the, that's one of the better sectional semifinal games coming on Friday. Some of the others, it's a really good slate of games this week, and in our area, probably some of the better matchups on paper. Cascades at Tri-West, Cascade 10-0, Tri-West 7-3. There's a lot of storylines in this one just because these two teams battled to a 37-35 game last year that Tri-West won. Cascade trying to get over the hump and win a sectional title for the first time in a long time, more than 30 years. So it's been a while. That's Class 3A sectional 29. New Pal is at Plainfield, 5A sectional 13. Plainfield 7-2, New Pal, of course, 9-0 and ranked number 1 in Class 5A. That will be an interesting game. And then LC and LN. That game's at LN, of course, a rematch from earlier in the year that LN won by a touchdown. But those rivals always seem to play close games against each other. You definitely would favor Lawrence North, but I think LC can make that a game on Friday for sure. Danville, Roncalli in 4A sectional 22. LaPel and Eastern Hancock, that's a rematch of a game that went down to the wire just a couple of weeks ago that Eastern Hancock actually had a chance to win at the end, and some controversy in that one as well, kind of a crazy ending in that one also. That'll be a fun one. LaPel 10-0, Eastern Hancock 6-4. Northeastern's at Triton Central. Triton Central survived a tough one with Centerville last week, 22-19. So they have to play a Northeastern team that's now 9-1. That is in sectional 38 in 2A. Western Boone will host Southmont. Western Boone 6-4, Southmont 9-1. That's another rematch game in 2A sectional 34. Ben Davis Avon, I think, is one to track on Friday. That's 6A sectional 5 at Avon. Avon won that game earlier this season in that matchup, 35-14. But Ben Davis has struggled on defense for much of the year, but offensively have given some teams some issues. So I think that could be, just a game to maybe keep your eye on. Zionsville and Westfield, I think, also. That game, if you remember, Zionsville lost earlier this year, 27-3. But that game was 3-0 at halftime. Zionsville was ahead, and their offense has been playing better here of late. But so has Westfield. Westfield's been playing pretty well here lately too. But again, I think a game to keep an eye on around the state. Other than the Eastbrook game, I would say Evansville Memorial and Gibson Southern is definitely probably the game to watch. They're a game to track in sectional 32 and 3A. Those teams ranked number 1 and 2 respectively in the class. So you've got a real battle there. The winner of that might be the favorite to win the whole thing in 3A potentially. So that's a good one. Warsaw and Concord up north in 5A sectional 11. Warsaw went on to the state finals last year. So if I don't think they're quite as strong as they were a year ago, but Concord, I think, can win that game and make a pretty good run in 5A as well. Evansville Wrights and Heritage Hills is one in 4A, sectional 24 in southern Indiana to watch. Springs Valley and Providence defending champs in 1A. Springs Valley is 10-0 this year and ranked number 1. So that should be a really interesting game as well. So, yeah, you can go through. We'll have plenty more this week. I'm counting down the games, best games around the state, but that's just kind of an idea there on some of the games to watch. But again, Bodie Howell, appreciate him joining me on here. Fun to catch up with him and relive that crazy finish in Eastbrook's win on Friday over Alexandria. That's like I said, it's cool that Indiana high school football gets to that stage and people around the country watching and talking about it and kind of just talking about Indiana high school football. It can only be a good thing in a positive finish like that. So, again, thanks to Bodie for coming on here, and we will talk to you next time.